Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you all are doing well and welcome to another video. So today's topic is going to be a bit shorter, but we're kind of just going to discuss something I've just been on my mind a little bit recently, and it's something that I think I've still gravitate enjoying PlayStation more than Xbox, and especially as someone who is primarily an Xbox player or grew up playing more Xbox than PlayStation systems. Even now, when I kind of went back to playing my PlayStation 5 recently, even playing games like Overwatch, Fortnite, I'm kind of noticing that at this point, no matter how much I do enjoy the Xbox interface and the Game Pass, PlayStation still keeps continuing to be that console that draws me into experiencing that next gen, or not even so much next gen, but just current gaming experience that I'm not getting unless I'm also playing Switch exclusives. And I recently was playing Dave the Diver, which is an indie game that a lot of people have been loving that's been put on PlayStation Plus. And obviously we have seen from Microsoft with their recent statement of where they're going, continuing to go with their current gaming subscription service and putting their exclusives available to other companies. Obviously, we already see that happening with PlayStation. They're going to be getting, Grounded. They're going to be getting Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush as well, which both were fantastic exclusives for Xbox. And, basically Xbox has kind of come to accept that they just, no matter how much they put into it, and again, the biggest thing that we do see that has continued to disappoint me with Microsoft is they just have not been focusing on their exclusives like at all. Like we haven't gotten any news of a new Halo mode, like a new Halo DLC. Obviously, Halo Infinite is still finishing out its current season. Since Gears 5, we haven't had any news of a new Gears of War. Again, other maybe online exclusives, the Activision Blizzard deal. We don't have a date or anything yet on when those are going to be on Game Pass and if there's going to be any exclusives. We obviously have Ori and the Moon Studios new game. We have Hellblade, we have, Fable in the works, and we have some other titles that Microsoft is working on too. But for the most part, Silksong, which is going to be exclusive, but again, an indie title. Realize that, especially trying to finish up some games like, again, Rebirth, Spider-Man 2, also trying to get through, Horizon Zero Dawn, and even Persona 3, which now I've navigated toward playing on PlayStation. It's just, yeah, I think Microsoft's decision to more be kind of the distributor of their games, obviously they're still going to be putting support for Game Pass, but they're not going to, at this point, they made it clear I don't think they're ever going to release another console after this generation because they realize they just can't compete. But the reason I think they're not able to stay on PlayStation's level is because they just keep putting out quantity over quality. And again, one thing that Sony keeps pulling in from Microsoft is their exclusive titles. And for the most part, like I said, Microsoft, like when was the last time we got a mainland title from Microsoft from their beloved IPs? Again, we had like Psychonauts back in like 2021. We've had, but again, stuff like maybe more smaller titles like Banjo-Kazooie. Obviously, they've made it clear they're not going to be working on it, but they've also gone independent. And then, yeah, like I said, Gears, Halo are some bigger ones that we have not gotten any support or releases in the last, new releases in the last several years. And it kind of just makes me wonder, like, why? Because clearly there's the market for it. Microsoft could easily release those titles, but why don't they put more work into that instead of constantly trying to get these more IPs? Again, we've seen this trend for the last couple of years now. They're trying to put in so much into their ecosystem, but the main things that drive Microsoft and their console sales were their exclusives. And we're just not seeing any support for those exclusives. And it's honestly kind of heartbreaking because, I think if they were to put out some more titles, that would give them an edge again in the market. But instead, they're choosing to release outside of their stuff they've already put out. And again, they have Bethesda backing them, but of course, Starfield didn't end up being the biggest, exciting title that we were hoping for. But again, like another Elder Scrolls, we have no confirmation on when that's going to be out. Like Fallout 76 has a new player base that has gained more following in the recent months. And then, of course, Fallout 4, a lot of people are wanting to get back into. But again, it's just like they clearly have the backing, Bethesda being one of them. But because of sort of the mismanagement that we've continued to see, no clear inside direction or anything, it's sort of just continuing to resurface less and less players continuing to stick with Xbox and just, have it on hand or have it for indie titles. And it's kind of disheartening because even like I said, the titles that I've started to be more excited for, and even in my last video, of course, we do have Blade from Arcane, but again, that's not releasing this year. And then while we did get like Persona 3, again, that's not an exclusive. That's just something that we're able to put on Game Pass because of a partnership with Atlas. So again, they're not like wow factors, like when the last Microsoft exclusive that I think I genuinely was extremely excited for was the possibility of, but even other titles like that. I mean, obviously we have Obsidian's Avowed, and which is another one that I'm looking forward to, which was in my last video. But again, it's those games I even feel once they are released, they're just not going to have that huge of an impact. Because again, we've seen once again that like PlayStation just keeps continuing to have a huge dominance. And again, Rebirth is probably a big component of that. And again, it's the continued support of the Final Fantasy games that we've continued to see support, which is a big seller for PlayStation. But even this new one, Stellar Blade, which looks very, very well done, very polished, has a very unique look, has a unique combat style that I think a lot of players will enjoy, especially for Soul-like players. So, and even now with coming up exclusives I'm seeing released throughout the year when Sony's State of Play is, the level of excitement that I still get to experience, I'm just like, does Microsoft really have anything that could be competitive? And again, I think they really should focus on their IPs that they just haven't put in focus to. Again, the shooters are a big part of that. I always went to Xbox for first-person shooters. But beyond that, ever since the Xbox One era, that's where we really have seen the decline. And it's just continued to decline because of less and less supports of them continuing to build on their franchises or get really good exclusives and work on those. Again, Bethesda being one of them. And again, we have no date or confirmation on Fable. It's probably going to be a 2025 release at this point, maybe even 2026, because again, who knows? We haven't seen any official gameplay yet either, so who knows? It's going to be interesting. But yeah, recently it's kind of been on my mind lately, kind of going back and even just playing third-party stuff like Overwatch on PlayStation 5. It's just a much more fluid experience. And I think kind of going this year, I'm probably going to be more on my PlayStation because again, there's a lot of exclusives I still need to finish, Rebirth being one of them. And also I need to finish 16 as well. But yeah, that's going to pretty much do it for today, guys. But I definitely would like to know your thoughts on this. If any of you are current Xbox players or if you own all current gen consoles, if you're a primary PC player and you happen to have Game Pass, like what are your thoughts? If you feel that, if you already have a PC, is there really any reason to own one? Which that's a whole topic in and of itself. But hopefully you guys have a good rest of the week and I'll see you guys next time.